Hi there, this is Teacher Harry and welcome back to English Lessons with Harry, where I try to help you to get a better understanding of the English language. What are we going to talk to you about today? Well, today we're going to talk about small talk. And small talk is a really important part of the English language. And in particular, we're going to talk to you about small talk questions about food. So small talk questions to do with food. As I said, small talk is a really important part of the English language. Some people dismiss it a little bit as chit-chat, but remember, when you use small talk, it helps you to get involved in conversations. It's the easiest way for you to get involved. So not only will it help you and ease you into the conversation, it will avoid those awkward silences that you might have in an elevator, if you got stuck there, for example, or at the beginning of a meeting when you're waiting for somebody to arrive or one of your colleagues hasn't arrived. So there'll be generally a lot of small talk in those situations. It'll help you and present you as a little bit friendlier. It will make you a little bit more acceptable to your colleagues, particularly new colleagues if you've moved jobs, so you don't feel like the outsider. And you'll sound much more like a native speaker. Okay, so that's the general overview of small talk and why it's important. So, as I said to you, we're going to look specifically at small talk questions about food. Well, as well as small talk being really important, food is important to all of us, and we all like eating it, preparing it, or most of us, and certainly talking about it. So when we have small talk conversations, food is one of the ideal topics, and usually it centers around a number of particular areas. So I've broken this down into a few sections. So I'll take them one by one. I'll read them to you first, and then I'll come back to them. So the first one is about your favorite food, or it could be about eating out, where you might eat out, cooking at home, just generally breakfast, lunches, and dinners. And finally, diets, which is also an important part of eating food. If you eat too much of it, we have to go on diets, or we have to do a little bit more exercise. So diets are another important part of that general classification of food. So let's take them one by one. So the first one, as I said, is your favorite food. So the questions that you could ask people when you're in that situation is, well, simply, what's your favorite dish? Now, in English, dish means a plate of food or something that somebody's prepared. It's not just the dish or the plate that the food arrives on. So that can be sometimes a little bit confusing for non-native speakers. So what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite meal? Or just simply, what do you like to eat? Yeah. So you can put it in any of those situations. Are there any foods that you absolutely hate? Or are there any foods that you absolutely won't eat? So again, you're trying just to find out from people, what their customs are, or what their cultures are, or what sort of food they like, or what food they don't like. Do you like trying new foods? Okay, and what's the most recent food that you've tasted? Have you had Vietnamese, or you have tried other Japanese styles? Whatever it might be, you can broaden it out to include specific or just generally, what have you eaten recently, or what have you tried recently, or what new food have you tried recently? Okay, so then when we're talking about eating out, that might be to do with places that are local. So, if you're sharing offices with these people and you've just joined them, you might want to know the places to eat locally for lunch or perhaps for an early dinner. So you could ask questions like, how often do you eat out? Have you tried any new restaurants recently? Or what are the restaurants like around here? Are there any nice small cafes? Or what are the prices like? Are they good for lunches or dinners? So you can get into it in much more detail as you go along, once you feel comfortable about asking those questions. You could also and ask, do they like fast food? Because obviously people eat it, particularly if they're in a hurry. So do you like fast food? If you do, what type of fast food do you like, or what fast food restaurants are available here? Do you order food as a takeaway? Do you order food as a delivery? Do you try some of those apps where you order food to be delivered to the office or to be delivered to your home? And then you can talk about your experiences, your experiences that were good, or what most people have is some experience that was absolutely bad, where the food was late or the food was cold or something strange happened. So people exchange their experiences in that way, but all the time asking those particular questions about eating out. A lot of people like to cook. A lot of people are really good at preparing food, particularly if they have the time, and they like to cook food, particularly when they have specific cultures from whichever country they happen to be from. So a lot of questions we can ask are related to cooking at home or cooking in the home. So simply, are you a good cook? Or who cooks in your house, your partner or you? Who does most of the cooking? Do you share the cooking? What's your favorite dish to prepare? Or what's your favorite dish that you like to prepare is another way to say it. And what's your cooking speciality? What do you really like? What's your key dish that you prepare that everybody talks about? Yeah. So, or what are you well known for? So lots of people have a particular speciality, or it could be paella, or it could be shepherd's pie in my case, whatever it might be. So what are you known for? What is the dish that really sets you apart from other people? Okay, so it comes on to the section then speaking particularly about just the three basic core meals of the day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you usually skip breakfast, or do you bring it with you and have it in the office? That's a very simple question. A lot of people grab a bite to eat on the way in off the tube or the train, drop into the local cafe, get the coffee and the breakfast bap or whatever it happens to be, or they have something already on their desk waiting for them when they get there. So do you usually skip breakfast, or do you have it before you leave home? What time do you get up at if you have to have your breakfast before you leave home? What time do you usually have lunch? What time do you usually go for lunch? Where do you go for lunch around here? I'm sick of sandwiches. Do you have any really good suggestions as to work type lunches that you can prepare easily or bring in? What do you usually have? So all of those questions, small talk questions that will help you to fit into the conversation. And finally, what do you usually have for dinner? Or what time do you eat dinner? Do you prepare dinner the day before? Do you prepare dinner, as we do, enough for 2 days, for example, if you don't want to cook every day? So general topics, conversational topics, questions that will be easy to ask, hopefully for you, and easy to answer. And then finally, as I mentioned before, if we all, as we do, like food and we eat a little bit too much of it, particularly at certain times of the year, then we might like to talk, or we will talk about the diet, different types of diets. So the questions you could ask relating to diet are, what diet are you on? Or do you ever go on diets? Do you follow a special type of diet? Are there foods you definitely leave out, or foods you include to make sure it's a healthy diet that you have? Do you think diets are useful or not? Are they just fads? And a fad is something that's here today, gone tomorrow. Is anyone here on that raw food diet? So you can talk about the latest gimmick of a diet, which will be in all the magazines and the internet, and all the superstars are talking about them. So people will try them. And when they try them, they share them with their colleagues. And when they share them with their colleagues, they exchange their information and their experiences, good or bad. Okay, so lots of helpful and useful questions that you can ask around diet. Okay, so that's small talk. And as I said, small talk, really, really important part of the English language. It will help you to settle in to a new job. It will help you to make friends. It will break the ice when you're stuck in that elevator, or before that business meeting when you're turning left or right to a colleague and you want to talk about something, to avoid that unhealthy silence that is there. And it'll make you fit into the organization and you won't feel such an outsider. So I hope you've enjoyed the experience of this particular lesson, and you can join me again in the future. And if you want to contact me, well, of course you can on www.englishlessonviaskype.com.